This time of year, all roads lead to Las Vegas, and for poker players, the horseshoe is the one stop that gets the heart pumping.
I'm alive!
But you better bring your wallet for this one because tonight's buy-in is not cheap.
A lot of people aren't going to put up $5K for an event like this.
Push the popper up, pop, baby.
It's the second largest entry fee at the World Series.
That's what I'm talking about!
And with that much cash at stake, emotions can run high.
I got my mojo working now.
So grab a seat and buckle up.
I got the kahunas and I'm not afraid to gamble.
It's gonna be a wild ride. Come on, let's get the cards in the air now.
Back, baby.
Welcome to the World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. Over 250 players came to the Horseshoe with dreams of taking home nearly $400,000 in cash in this, the 13th event of the World Series of Poker. Hello, everybody. Lon McCarran alongside Norm and Chad. And Norm, tonight at our final table of this Hold'em event, we've got a clash of cultures.
Yeah, we've got computer-age newbies who've been playing in their pajamas, and they have never seen anything on the internet along the lines of Eskimo Clark and James Sousa, a couple of old-school cardroom sharks.
And there's a good look at Eskimo Clark. He's been coming here for 15 years.
None of his 3 World Series bracelets have come in Hold'em, though.
Well, a chip leader is James Sousa. He's been coming to Vegas for this event for 22 years, still in search of his first bracelet.
Yeah, he is very unpredictable and very unconventional, Lon. His chips could go way up or way down.
And there is Thomas Keller, also known as Thunder. He's about 20,000 chips behind Sousa right now.
Another one of our very successful young internet players. This is his first time playing in a World Series event.
And he's coming here straight from his honeymoon. This 23-year-old just got married in Hawaii and taking some time off right now to play some poker. There's Lee Watkinson, 37-year-old pro, making his first final table as well. He's in third position in chips, 202,000. And you see a couple of 10s on our Miller High Life pocket cam for James Sousa. And that will be worthy of 25,000 chips. Over to Martin de Knijf from Stockholm, Sweden. Pair of 9s.
And a good starting hand. You're going to play that more often than not.
Martin will match the 25,000 from Sousa. Over to young Phan, 43 years old, born in Vietnam, lives in Southern California now, and he's got a couple of queens.
And he's also got a pretty short stack, so with those queens, it's usually pretty automatic. You're thinking all in.
And indeed, young Phan will go all in, but despite his short stack here, he's playing with a lot of confidence. Before the World Series began, he found himself at 5 other final tables this year, but has yet to win. Rest of the table folds, Thunder Keller folds. And there, Philip Marmerstein proving once again no dress code at the World Series of Poker, Norm.
Popeye Doyle is in the house.
And he will fold. Now to Sousa.
Bring in 25,000, let me know what the raise is.
29,500, right?
Raise 29,500.
I call.
Sousa is in the hand.
He doesn't know he's chasing the queens, but he is.
Over to de Knijf, who will kick it in with his 9s.
That's good discipline, laying down that hand.
Young has 2 queens.
Ace king. Oh, come on, baby. Come on.
Phan thought he was up against ace king. He's happier. He's only up against a pair of 10s from Sousa.
Yeah, it'll make him a 4-1 favorite to stay alive in this tournament.
Here comes the flop. It's 2, Jack, 3, no help to either.
And that means Sousa's going to need a 10 on the turn or river to knock out Phan.
The turn's an ace.
Come on. Paint. Paint, baby, paint.
Sousa still needs a 10 to knock out young Phan.
Now the river, it's another queen for young Phan.
No more bubble for young.
That seals the deal with the set. James Sousa takes a small hit to his chip stack, and young Phan, playing in his 10th World Series, fires the first shot across the bow in this no-limit Texas Hold'em event.
That's an important one.
Here are the Miller High Life rules for Texas Hold'em. Each player is first dealt 2 down cards. A round of betting then occurs as players decide for the first time if they're in or they're out. Then come the community cards with the flop, the turn, and the river with a round of betting after each. In the end, the best 5-card combination wins the hand and takes the pot. Has he lost money, Norm?
He's looking for his lucky medallion.
Ah.
Thanks. I got it. Thanks.
Yeah, that went to lost and found. He'd never get it back.
James Sousa says, I don't need no stinking lucky medallion. Ace Queen.
Okay, you guys got me on tilt now.
That's a little dinner theater acting there. You're on tilt when you're playing bad cards. Ace Queen suited is not bad cards.
He'll push in 40,000 chips.
Raise it. 40,000.
40,000.
I think we're all in agreement.
Get some of that money back.
Young Phan will get out of the hand over to Paul Eskimo Clark.
Raise it.
And looking at Ace King.
Come on, play your rush.
I'm all in.
He's going to go all in.
You're the only guy I feared, Eskimo.
The percentage next to a player's name is a probability they'll have the winning hand after the river card comes. You saw Sam Batchon fold. Now over to Lee Watkinson. He'll kick it in as well.
How much you got, Eskimo, there? Okay. Good.
Eskimo's got actually a pretty good chunk of change.
120.
Well, Sousa just dropped more than 50,000 to Phan on the previous hand. This is a larger amount that would come out of his stack. Ace Queen, a decent hand. I don't know if he wants to risk this much.
I call.
Now we do. He does want to risk that much with Ace Queen against the Ace King on Clark.
He's got a lot of gamble in him, and he is behind in the hand because they're matching the aces, so it's the king against the queen.
Here's the flop, and Sousa finds a queen on the flop for top pair.
He spikes the pair. Clark, who is all in, does have a flush draw, though, to stay alive. Also, would like to see a king.
It's a 10, and that gives Eskimo some added hope.
Yeah, Eskimo now can make a straight with a jack, or he needs a heart, or a king, or Sousa will take him out.
And a long shot comes through to Eskimo Clark, snatching victory on the river card. Wow.
Yeah, he was all but out of here.
James Sousa could only smile and wonder what would have been.
The game's fixed.
James Sousa's gone from chip leader to merely a survivor. Eskimo Clark, the new man in charge now at the table.
Now you gotta start all over, Eskimo.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. And empowered by Levitra. Ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts. And Harrah's Entertainment.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Event number 13 of 33 of the 2004 World Series of Poker. And that is Eskimo Clark, just coming off a big win over James Sousa in this $5,000 buy-in event. And what, does he think he's bulletproof going with a 6-5 suited?
And look at Thomas Keller. He just got married a couple of weeks ago, came straight from his honeymoon in Hawaii to here to play poker.
Colin raises 15,000.
Now, that's the type of marriage I was looking
You
for.
gotta love that.
And he's able to raise with his pocket kings.
Now over to Frank Sinopoli from Hollywood, Florida. Probably the best cards he's seen in a while, this short stack.
He hasn't had much to play. A pair of nines are the type of cards he's going to want to play. Unfortunately, he's playing right behind the pocket kings.
And he will call the raise from Thunder Keller. Marmerstein gets out. So does Watkinson. James Sousa, who may really be on tilt right now, says, I'm going to cool down for a while. And now back to Eskimo, whether or not he's going to stay in the hand.
Yeah, he might want to reconsider those little babies with two guys behind him.
I might play the 6-5, but he won't. So Thunder Keller and Frank Sinopoli heads up. Here's the flop. It is 6-2-7, no help.
And Thunder checks his kings.
And Sinopoli's going to bet.
And why not? He's got to believe his pair of nines are best.
Give me that.
That's a big sigh from a man with pocket kings.
Where is it? All right, he's going to go over the top of Sinopoli now.
You can't trust these kids. Check raise you anytime.
Sinopoli doesn't have much of a choice here, does he, Norm?
He senses he might be beat, but he has very few chips left, and he is going to go all in with his pair of nines.
That's really the only choice he had right now. So Thunder Keller and his kings, a big advantage over Frank Sinopoli right now, and as the cards are flipped over, Sinopoli hears the bells tolling for him.
Frank is going all in.
Yeah, he's going to need a 9 to stay alive in this tournament.
And the turn card is a 3 of hearts, no help.
1 card left for Frankie Sinopoli. It has to be a 9.
The river card is an ace, and that will do it. Frank Sinopoli will take home about $24,000, finishing 9th place in this Texas No Limit Hold'em event. And Thunder Keller now is our chip leader, but not by much. Eskimo Clark just 10,000 behind Philip Marmerstein, the short stack right now. And our 2 chip leaders, neck and neck, Eskimo Clark on the left and Thunder Keller on the right. Neither one will play this hand. Phan will throw it away too. And Philip Marmerstein from Munich, Germany, and the short stack, ace queen. He'll call all in 30,000. That's all he can do.
Yeah, predictable play. Lee Watkinson won't play. Leland started playing poker in his high school library. Good use of the educational system.
Now over to Martin de Knijf. Couple of 8s. He's got 148,000 in his stack.
And I would think he'd call here. To call the all-in would cost about 20% of his stack, and he might figure at worst he's got a coin flip situation if he's up against 2 overcards.
And he will indeed. So Marmerstein now with his tournament life at stake over to young Phan.
Here, see it? Here, see it?
We see it, we get it.
A lot of theatrics to toss away a 5-4 offsuit.
All right, so we'll go heads up. Marmerstein and de Knijf. And the flop comes 5-3-6. No immediate help for either player.
And the pair of 8s are still ahead, so Marmerstein's going to need help.
Turn card is a 4. Young Phan now knows he would have had 2 pair if he'd stayed in the hand.
Well, Marmerstein's still going to need an ace or a queen to stay alive, or if a 2 comes on the board, we'll have a straight on the board, and he'd split the pot.
And the river card is a 4. No big cards in this hand. Philip Marmerstein, 8th place. He hears the Alpenhorns calling him home.
And he can use some of that prize money to maybe get a long pair of pants in the gift shop.
So young Phan now knows he would have had a full house had he stayed in the hand, but as it is, Martin de Knijf from Stockholm, Sweden, one of the best in the world, takes the hand.
I've always been a big fan of playing cards.
Give me some of that.
I won the World Poker Tour Championships 10 days ago at the Bellagio. Picked up a UC 2.7 million. So that was absolutely awesome. You know, the press has been after me, hunting me down, so I took like 10 days off. I have my son here too, from Sweden. At the Bellagio, he gave me 3 lucky kicks in the butt, and he did that today, this morning too, before I came. I'm playing with a lot of confidence, and I'm just feeling good about myself and my game.
Lon, you gave me 3 kicks in the backside before we went on the air tonight, but you know, it really didn't feel like it was for good luck.
Well, if you pick up the check more often at dinner, it wouldn't happen. Sam Phan, no stranger to the World Series of Poker. And he's got ace-king in the hole. And just over 150,000 in his stack to play with. And he'll throw out 21,000 chips. And Watkinson does his Watkinson thing and throws in.
Hasn't seen anything he likes so far.
James Sousa now.
How much is it?
21,000.
I got 5.
Kind of unlimbers before he bets.
James Sousa looks like he's been sitting at a poker table for a long time.
She started playing when he was 5 years old.
I'm all in.
And Phan calls the all-in right away.
And Sousa from the chip lead to now the edge of being out of this thing. He's in the same position he was against Eskimo Clark earlier. Ace-queen against ace-king, a big underdog.
Go ahead and put 4 clubs on the board. Here's ace.
And now the flop between Sousa and Phan. Those are 3 cards that bring Sousa only closer to being knocked out.
Only a queen will save Sousa now.
Might have him covered.
Well, Sousa now feels resigned to being out of this tournament, finishing in 7th place as a 10 comes on the turn, and he's running out of cards.
And from the chip lead, he's now 1 card away from being out of here. It has to be a queen.
And the river card is a queen. A miracle queen.
What goes around comes around, right? Sorry there, buddy.
That's all right, buddy.
Sousa lost on the river to Eskimo Clark earlier, but now hands a bad beat to Phan.
Baby, baby, baby. I lose on the king to Eskimo. And catch him with the queen.
Sousa climbed out of a hole earlier. Now Sam needs to do the same.
Come back, kid. Come back, kid.
Welcome back to Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas. It has been a wild final table for James Sousa with his tournament live hanging on the all-in call, which now has become his calling card.
I'm an action. Full speed ahead. Let's gamble, baby. I'm all in. All in. We got to get rid of one more player. Here comes the rush. Move over. 45,000. It might be the shrimp.
I've never seen so many hands in my life.
Pushing the bush. I'm pushing it. All in.
This is unbelievable.
Back to back, Jack. Step aside, Thunder. You're gonna need an umbrella. I'm all in again. Tell you what, I'm gonna walk outside and have a cigarette. I'll let you guys battle it out. Don't you love me madly? I'll sleep to noon, but before it's dark, I'll have every poker chip at Binion's Horseshoe Park.
Right,
Good luck to everybody. Love y'all.
Sousa's just taking the chip lead by going all in on a half a dozen straight hands while eating shrimp salad. And what's even more impressive, Lon, is I don't even think they have shrimp salad on the menu here.
Well, if Sousa hangs on to the chip lead, he can import it from anywhere. Sousa and Keller atop the chip leaderboard. Thomas Keller from Phoenix looking at a couple of queens. There's a story circulating around Phoenix where he is from that he dominated poker so much in that town. He had every single $100 chip from one casino, over $1 million worth in the trunk of his car. He says he didn't keep them in the trunk of his car, but wherever he had them, he earned them and he knows how to play.
Well, Thunder raises, and Sousa now with the 5-4 offsuit.
What I owe more?
Well, it's with Sousa. I'm not sure whether he has indigestion or whether he's going to call.
And he will call with the 4-5.
Well, they'll put our two chip leaders up against each other going into the flop.
And of course, Keller with the big advantage of the two queens, and the flop is king, king, 2.
I'm all in.
And once again, all in Sousa, they're going to call him.
Tremendous to watch this. You know, it's like he's trying to commit a bank robbery in broad daylight, except instead of robbing a bank, he's trying to hold up Thomas Keller. What a play. He's got nothing. Now, what he's doing is putting Keller all in. So Keller's got to believe he has the best hand, but if Sousa has a king, he's all but dead and he's out of the tournament.
You think them diamonds are coming?
I'm all in, that's all I'm telling you. What, do you want to know what my hand is now? Just put your money in there.
You're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to say it.
I know I'm not. But I will show you anyway, because I've been showing everybody, so it doesn't matter.
You'll show it?
Yeah. I will.
I don't even know if I want to see it.
My word is gold in this town.
The reason he's got a chance to get away with this bluff is because he showed us all those other cards when he went all in, and they were all tremendous. So who knows that he's got nothing now?
A perfect time for a bluff for James Sousa.
I can't call you. Nice hand.
I said I was going to show it, right?
You did. You said it. I got to get back.
I was on the draw.
Oh, man.
It's cruel and unusual punishment.
Good hand.
Johnny Moss told me I might be one of the greatest poker players that ever lived. Now I'm starting to believe him.
You know, Lon, I think Johnny Moss used to tell it to all the people he beat every day.
And Thomas Keller, the young gun, just got schooled by the veteran James Sousa. Meanwhile, on the outer tables, event number 14, Stud High-Low, is underway. Throughout the World Series, one demographic that has seen a noticeable rise in representation is women. Annie Duke hopes to be on the leaderboard by the time the World Series is through. Her name usually up there among the top players in the game.
You can put on a dress and go play this afternoon. You probably have a better shot.
Among female players, Annie's one of the best, but she would clarify that statement.
When you look at my record at the World Series, nobody can argue that I'm the best female tournament player there is.
Perhaps, but ultimately, success at the World Series is measured by the bracelets, and so far, Annie has none. But the other night, Cindy Violette finally had a chance to get hers when she found herself heads up against 80-year-old Pete Kaufman in the $2,000 Stud High-Low Championship. History would be made. Either Pete would become the oldest champion ever, or Cindy would become just the 8th female to take home a bracelet, capping a journey that began over 20 years ago.
In 1985, I think it was, I won a 7-card stud event at the Golden Nugget. The prize was $74,000, and at that time it was the most money won by a woman at one time. After I won the tournament and I was getting a lot of press, I did an article for Playboy, TV shows were calling me, and it was really, really great. I got married and I moved to Washington State. For 2 years, I didn't play any poker. So I tried to be the good wife and stay home, but I knew that I loved poker, you know, and I was never gonna let it not be a part of my life. For me to be playing poker for as long as I have and not had a bracelet, that's been a goal of mine.
Cindy built a huge chip lead over Kaufman, and it was only a matter of time before she earned the victory. It was a sweet win when Cindy fulfilled her lifelong goal and captured her first ever World Series bracelet and close to $136,000. Cindy also picked up some valuable points in the Toyota Player of the Year points race as she sits in 7th place among a very elite group of poker players.
The Toyota Points Leader is brought to you by Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. The World Series of Poker presented by Miller High Life, Texas Hold'em.
Back at the final table on this $5,000 no-limit event.
And we're moving closer to the $10,000 main event in a few weeks that culminates this World Series.
Thomas Keller with a couple of jacks.
Well, his pocket queens got bluffed out, so now you just get back on the bike and you raise with your pocket jacks.
Watkinson will fold. Sousa will fold, and you see a lot of Keller's old chips in front of Sousa right there. And over to young Phan, and we get a quick look at his ace-king.
And he's probably going to want to play him, but he's taking a look. He's got more than $200,000 in chips, second on the table, and trying to figure out what he wants to do with this hand.
Make it 80,000.
And Phan will re-raise now to 80,000, and the action over to Eskimo Clark.
How can this guy not be named Eskimo Clark, Lon?
Well, he's from New Orleans. He could be Bayou Clark.
He's got an Eskimo Clark look. He's got pocket eights, which is a good hand, but he's had 2 big raises in front of him, so the hand doesn't look as good. So he may not want to play it. Of course, I would play it.
Of course, he throws it away, and you're sitting here.
Yeah, he's smarter than me.
So now the action back to Thunder Keller.
Ouch. I think he ordered a diet, and that's not diet.
I'm on.
Thunder Keller will call it all in.
And this is a big moment for both players. They have nearly identical chip stacks, big chip stacks. Whoever would win this pot if Phan comes in would become the chip leader. Whoever loses this pot will be out of here or virtually out of here.
There's one option for Phan is not to play. He'll have about 115,000 left.
All right, I call.
And he will call, and it'll be Thunder Keller who actually is all in.
Come on, give me a lucky one.
Young Phan has ace-king.
Come on, Thomas. Do it!
The flop is 10-2-5. No help to Phan.
No, Phan wants an ace or a king to take the lead in the hand.
Thunder in a great spot right now. The turn is another 10.
And Keller still trying to dodge an ace or a king to stay alive in this tournament.
And now the river card, a useless 7.
That's what I'm talking about! Yeah!
Thunder Keller with his cheering section celebrates the win.
Jacks hold up one time.
Nice hand.
Nice hand, man.
I
put you on ace-king. I've been laying down all day. I can't lay down anymore. You know? I know you're big.
I got
You got money.
All right, 4 chip back.
He's got 4,000 left. That's just breadcrumbs, Lon.
Well, if that's just breadcrumbs, Thomas Keller owns the whole bakery. He's our new chip leader now.
Thomas is chip leader.
Tom's the chip leader.
And Thunder's cousin and new bride cheering on the man who's in charge of this final table.
Thunder's back.
I'm a high school dropout because I got offered to go to Stanford on a presidential scholarship there. Scored a 1570 on my SAT too. That kind of helped getting in there. And I got a BA in in economics, but I really majored in poker. I've been playing poker since I was 17, sneaking into casinos and stuff. I don't find myself too intimidating, but I guess other people do. If I'm really looking at somebody, I'll take the glasses off. My dad's a professor, and my mom is also very well educated. Initially they're concerned, you're gonna be a gambler, you're not gonna have a real job. First time I won like 40,000 in one night or something, I think that was like the turning point. If you make in one night what somebody makes in a whole year of doing hard work, that means something.
Lon, when I told my father I was going to stop working to play poker, he said, "Oh, you found something else you can't do?"
As you look at young Phan now all in with the 4,000 remaining chips that he had against Keller's pair of eights, and he does lose to the eights. Young Phan, 7th place, just about $48,000 for his efforts today, and Thomas Thunder Keller and his cheering section enjoying his chip leadership, 100,000 more than James Sousa.
I'm coming after you, Thunder.
You're coming after me.
Full speed ahead.
He's all bark and no bite.
Matter of fact, from now on, you get the silent treatment.
I get the silent. Come on. Don't do that. I don't think you could stay quiet for 10 minutes.
You're right.
I wouldn't ask you to either.
Welcome back. In day one of this tournament, the big news centered around Chris Moneymaker and Dan Harrington. With 40 players remaining, they were first and second place, respectively, with Moneymaker holding 10% of the chips in play. But then the nature of no limit took over, and both were eliminated, finishing out of the money. Looking at our Toyota chip count now, Thomas Keller at 510, Sousa with 365, Eskimo Clark, the short end of the stick, 30,000. Now James Sousa to act, looking at ace-jack, and he'll raise 30,000 now. Over to Eskimo Clark. Ace-10.
I'm all in.
And not a lot to push in right there.
Eskimo really with no choice but to go all in at this point.
I got it covered there, Eskimo.
Well, that's just wrong, Lon. He's asking him, do I have it covered? Do I have as many chips as you do? He's got 10 times the amount of chips that Eskimo does. That's really putting salt in the wound. And of course, he's way ahead in the hand right now.
So now we'll go Sousa and Clark for the flop, and Clark with his tournament life on the line if he loses the hand. And now the flop is Queen, King, 9, each with an ace-high straight draw.
Yeah, Sousa would need a 10 for a straight. Clark would need a jack for a straight.
Turn card is a 6 of clubs, no good for Clark, and now he has to catch another miracle card, as he did earlier when he was all in against Sousa. And now the river card, 5 of clubs, no help to Eskimo. James Sousa wins the hand, gets some of the chips back he gave away to Clark earlier. Bottom line, Eskimo Clark goes away in 6th place.
Hey, Eskimo. Baby.
No love in Las Vegas.
Okay, I'm not buying dinner tonight either.
Cards went bad for 4 hours out there. And the motherfuckers want me to shake their hand.
Not the most gracious of losers.
We do, wouldn't shake your hand?
When he wants something from me, he's real nice.
Eskimo's actions won't bother this Boston-born, Las Vegas-bred poker fanatic too much because he's seen it all.
I moved to Las Vegas when I was 21 years old. That's because I was legal age to gamble. And Johnny Moss, he gave me a lot of schooling on the game. He said to me, kid, you might be one of the greatest poker players that ever lived. You just don't know it yet.
I'll be real honest with you guys. You guys play bad for real. I play bad on purpose.
A lot of people don't know me. I'm what they call a ghost player.
The ghost.
Ooh. Won a lot of money, probably over $500,000 in my lifetime playing poker.
Come on, somebody put some lighter fluid on those chips, will you? Let's get them burning.
I don't win every time. Any poker player that says they win every time is a straight-up liar.
Well, you got me going now. I'm committed now.
I love it. I live for it. I breathe it. At heart, I am a gambler. People are so miserable, man. Sad losers.
He is a gambler who's catching cards. On day one of this tournament, we saw him go all in against 2 other players with ace-jack. He called out for a king, queen, 10 on the flop. and he got a king, queen, 10 on the flop to make a straight and stay alive.
An amazing run for Sousa. Well, here are the cards now of Sam Batchamp and ace 8.
I'm on it.
And all in with his 69,000. Anytime you get an ace in that short stack, you're bound to see them all go in.
He also has not had much to play today. He's a very tight player, and that's one of the better hands he's seen. He's short stacked.
69.
I said that.
Lee Watkinson.
Fold.
Who didn't know that?
Sousa now.
I call.
Wow.
Oh, Jack 8 suited.
He quickly calls the 69,000 with a very little of a hand. He's a gambler.
He's riding a big wave.
See if I can crack another play. I don't like the 8, though. I don't like the 8.
Well, they're sharing an 8.
Yeah, well, Sam doesn't like that he called that bet.
Now the flop. Oh, man, catches another card. Sousa with jacks.
Boy, and he rivered a card against Batchamp earlier today. He's caught another one here. He's caught one against just about everybody.
And now the turn card is an 8.
Sam will need an ace or he's out of this tournament.
Well, Sam stands for the river card. It is a 7, and that is going to do it. James Sousa knocks out another player. Sam Batchamp eliminated in 5th place. He'll take home just over $71,000.
Right now, Sousa's the type of guy, if he moves in next door to you, you want to put your valuables in a safe.
It's always going to be a winner and a loser. Just the way life is.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Miller High Life. To live simply, proudly, boldly, manly. This is the High Life. And in part by Harrah's Entertainment and the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
And surprise, surprise, Thomas Keller. And if you know anything about classical music, Norm, it's the River Miracle Sonata in C-sharp minor.
Actually, it's Chopin. I know I've played classical player piano.
But give him a lot of credit. He knows how to play, and the tip jar reflects that.
Boy, you don't see a lot of Ben Franklins in tip jars.
Back to action now at our final table, 4-handed. The blinds are at 4,000 and 8,000 with $1,000 antes. Martin de Knijf will throw in 26,000 chips with an ace-9. And Keller will throw away his cards. Now over to Lee Watkinson, a couple of 2s. He started this final table 3rd in chips, just over 200,000. And he's lost about half of that stack, just waiting to get some good cards. And now he's thinking about playing a couple of 2s.
I'm all in.
And he is going to go all in, just about 120,000. A bit surprising, Norm.
Yo, the 2s must look like aces to him. Martin calls immediately, which is more surprising to me. He's up against a guy who's played virtually no hands today. He's got to put him on at least a pair, and Martin will be crippled if he loses his hand.
Now the flop, 5-8-7. Martin picks up a straight draw.
Or Martin can still pair his ace or 9 to knock out Watkinson.
Turn cards, an 8 pairs the board.
And that gives Martin more outs now. If the board pairs again, or he gets an ace, 9, or 6, he'll win, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Now the river card is a 6. Martin gets his straight for the win. Lee Watkinson eliminated in 4th place. He'll take home just over $83,000. Wow, Martin de Knijf survives the hand, plays a hand that some people thought was questionable, maybe even a little nuts, and that leads us perfectly to our weekly series, which features a game today that you have to be a little nuts to play.
This is the greatest event in the history of mankind.
The strongest players in the world have come together.
This is the most prestigious event ever.
To decide once and for all who is the best of the best.
It's going to be the hardest mentally tough thing I've probably ever done in my life.
This is poker at its highest level. This is blind man's bluff.
It's going to be a war.
9, you're still raising it.
Yeah, you raise it. Don't make a mistake.
Well, you might have played the game in college. The cards you're dealt, you put on top of your head. You're the only one that doesn't see them, and then you play Texas Hold'em.
This might be the toughest blind man's bluff group we see outside of a state prison. Oh, Queen Jack suited.
Oh, he's got to go.
Textbook blind man bluffs play. He sees nothing around the table. Amir goes all in.
Lane Flack folds. Scotty Wynn folds. Cloney can do anything she wants, and I'm going to give her the pot. She folds. Mattis out.
What's he thinking? He sees the Queen Jack suited.
If you would have known what a smart you look like, you look like a smart.
It's going to be a lot quieter around here.
He's looking in the mirror.
What's Phil Gordon thinking?
Short stacked all in.
Oh, Phil Gordon with virtually no chance. I mean, the way he plays this game, he should analyze celebrity poker for a living.
Nine, baby.
All right, a pair of nines for Mattisau, but an open-ended straight draw for Amir Vahidi. A king or an 8.
Turn card. Oh, it's a king.
No!
Still a guy.
Yes, sirree, Bob. Yeah, Phil Gordon, you're out of here, baby.
Yeah, all right, I'm still.
Well, I guess that means it's an early departure.
$500 on the table.
It cost you $500 to enter, and Phil's going home with an empty wallet.
Sucker's money.
I can't even begin to describe the level of disappointment that I feel right now. I mean, I came to the final table in search of my very first World Series of Poker bracelet, and I'm the first one out. It really is one of the worst days of my life.
That's just our first installment of the Blind Man's Bluff tournament. We'll have more in the future. Our Toyota chip count shows Keller on top, Sousa with 450. Martin de Knijf pulling up the rear, 272. And he's got a Jack 10. He will fold it. And now over to Thunder Keller. Jack 6. Looks like he's reaching for his chips. And he'll call the big blind. James Sousa now.
And he can play for free with some very bad cards.
And now our flop with Keller and Sousa. And de Knijf would have flopped a full house. He's kicking himself for getting out of the hand. Keller's jacks have already won this hand, but James Sousa is first to act.
I'm all in.
Oh, Sousa goes all in. He's drawing dead. We know he can't win the hand. One of the 10s he's need is already out of the deck. Martin had it. Keller can't lose his hand unless he drops out, and I can't believe he's going to drop out with the 3 jacks. He can't believe anything can beat him right now. Then again, he was forced out earlier with pocket queens against Sousa's preposterous 5-4 offsuit bluff.
Make this real quick.
I'll call.
He does make it quick.
And Thunder's going to be happy.
Thunder has 3 jacks. Oh, Thunder, you did me bad.
He's caught Sousa's hand in the cookie jar, and this is justice for Thunder after he was victimized by that earlier audacious bluff from Sousa.
The turn is a 10, and it's going to give
I need a 10.
Sousa some false hope.
Can you pull a rabbit out of your head, Kip?
Yeah, he's looking for the river again, but we know the riverbed is dry this time.
And just one more card before Sousa's put out of his misery, and there it is, a 9, and Thunder Keller rolls on.
That's what I'm talking about. Thunder's in the house. Come on. I told you, baby. Told me. I laid down 8.
So it will be Keller and de Knijf heads up for the championship, but you have to appreciate James Sousa, who has steered us all on a very entertaining roller coaster ride all night long.
It's all in a day's play, all in a day's work. You win some, you lose some. Everybody's nice. Everybody's good. You guys are great. I love you all out there. There's always next year, boys and girls.
Welcome back to the Horseshoe. Ready to go heads up now for the championship in this no-limit hold'em tournament. Thomas Keller and Martin de Knijf.
My nickname's Thunder.
Call me the Knife.
Martin, he's on a hot streak. He just won the World Poker Championship.
He's very aggressive, and he has a lot of moves.
I feel confident. I've been building up my stack the whole time. I think it'll turn out pretty well.
I just feel so confident and so good about myself, so I have no worries whatsoever. I feel good.
There's what they're playing for. First prize money of $382,000, but they'll all tell you the bracelet's the thing.
How old are you, man?
32.
32, really? You don't look 32.
I'm an oldie.
He's an oldie. What does that make us, Norm?
Practically dead. But you got to like Martin in this heads-up matchup, even though he's got a 3-to-1 chip disadvantage, a lot more experience in live play, a lot more experience in this type of situation.
De Knijf is going to bet with a Jack 8 suited. We saw him throw away a Jack 10 a few minutes ago. Keller with ace-queen unsuited.
80.
He's going to push the envelope a little bit. 80,000 chips now over to de Knijf.
These are both decent hands heads up, particularly the ace-queen.
A lot of times we'll see similar hands like this on a heads-up situation. That'll just be the end of it. The risk is there. He's going to call it. So now the advantage for Keller with the ace, and the flop is 9-4 king, and we've got diamonds out there.
And a diamond draw for Martin. Thunder got no piece of that, and he checks quickly.
I'm all in.
Martin is going to go all in now.
And he's going on a sort of semi-bluff. He's got the diamond draw and not much of a hand otherwise, but he senses weakness in Thunder, and that's why he's made the play.
Been behind those shades. Yeah, you see the pain of Thunder Keller, and he does throw it away.
Well, that was a good bet and a proper fold at that point for Thunder. He shouldn't have played that hand, and he got out of the way.
So de Knijf with the first hit on this duel.
And, you know, you got to like his chances in the main event we have come up in a few weeks with a $5 million first prize. Martin finished 13th in the main event 2 years ago.
You haven't played tournaments live before?
I played, yeah, I won a tournament at Bellagio.
Okay.
Yeah. Just never a World Series.
Okay, never a World Series.
I'm just a kid, you know.
Yeah, a kid with a 1570 SAT, Stanford in his rearview mirror, a concert pianist. He's probably working on some proposal for world peace. On top of that, he's been happily married for a few days.
And that beat you on every count right there. A 6-4. It looks like he learned a few things from James Sousa. He's going to bet that.
He's going to come in with a 6-4 suited.
And Martin with a king-9. And that's also suited. He will call that bet from Keller. And now de Knijf with the advantage as we go to the flop. And a couple of 9s now for Martin, and he's got another diamond draw.
But it's Thunder getting a little creative here, betting 50,000 with just an inside straight draw.
I'm all in.
And Martin comes right back all in. Wow.
And again, it's just smart read, smart play from Martin. There's not much for Thunder to do here. He took a stab at the pot. If your opponent comes back over you and you got nothing, it's time to hit the bricks.
Martin playing it very cool against a 23-year-old internet whiz kid. And he does the right thing again, though, kicks it in.
To Thunder's credit, for the second straight hand, he didn't unnecessarily risk a big chunk of his chips when he had cards that weren't all that great.
But he still shifted some chips over to Martin de Knijf, who now has 514,000. Keller still in the lead at 756. He's got some concern on his face, and also some concern on the family members in his cheering section as we continue heads-up play for this championship. Now Keller with some cards to play, a couple of 10s. He's happy to see that, Norm.
And he'll put in a 24,000 chip bet.
Now over to de Knijf, who has played spectacularly here, heads up. King 2.
Control the tempo, so to speak.
I call.
He'll call the bet from Keller. And Keller with a big advantage with the pair of 10s. So now here comes the flop, and it's 9-4-2. De Knijf now with another pair and another flush draw.
Pair of 2s and the flush draw. And he quickly checks.
Over to Keller now. He's got to be feeling more confident with his hand than he has in the last 2 hands.
Yeah, he bets 45,000. He's got the big pair.
I'm all in.
And once again, Martin de Knijf's going to go all in.
Boy, we've seen this drill before, except this time he's not in the same position against Thunder as he has been in the previous all-ins. Thunder has the big pair, bigger than anything on the board this time.
I call.
Oh, he has summoned up the courage to call. Thunder Keller now turns over his 10s.
I got it.
And he's ahead, but de Knijf with a good drawing possibility.
Good luck to you.
A king or a 2 gives him a better hand, as does a club. So this is pretty much of a toss-up right now.
No fingernails left on Keller's wife, Andra. Turn cards a 9, no help for de Knijf.
One more.
And Thunder's on the brink of a championship unless de Knijf can find a miracle on the river. And the river card is a 9.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about!
Thunder Keller has done it. Emerged from a field of 253 players to win it all.
You are awesome, man. You deserve it so much, man.
Keller becomes the third player under 25 to win a bracelet this year, and he took down one of the best in the world, Martin de Knijf.
Damn it.
I gained some momentum, and I really felt, if I'm winning, the last spot, I'm going to win the whole thing.
Wild, Wild West.
So Thomas Thunder Keller takes home a bracelet in his first ever World Series event.
It's fine with you, man. It's all right.
Players took their best shots as Thunder met some resistance along the way.
Come on in, Thunder. I got some lightning for you.
We've been trading blows the whole tournament.
I was on the draw.
It was great.
But down went Sousa.
It was almost as good as winning the whole tournament.
And in the end, Thunder struck a final blow as Martin's experience couldn't take down the big fella.
I was saying to myself, I wouldn't be happy unless I won this, And I won it, so here I am.
See you next time at the World Series of Poker.
Can I get like a belt like a wrestler?